I'd ask the clerk to take the roll call first.
Trustee Cascatello,
Here.
Trustee Bachner, Trustee O'Connell,
Here.
Trustee Gillis,
Here.
Trustee Vasquez,
Here.
Trustee Brennan,
Here.
President Adducey.
Here. Okay, now, if you could, I ask you to stand up. To say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, let's see what we got here. Give me just a couple seconds. Okay. Thanks, Luke. Okay. All right. Mike, you didn't put what you want, what you're going to talk about, but is this general? Yeah. Yeah. Jim, take the podium if you don't mind. Thanks.
Good evening, Board. My name is Mike Grant. I live at 334 Franklin Avenue. And trustees, good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to approach. To be sure, I just want to start by defining my role today. It's not that of a River Forest Park District Commissioner. It's of a resident, so just to be clear. And I'll attempt brevity. I'm not so sure about that one. First, thank you for continually looking for ways to make this town better. One, our 3-year-old troughed semi-pavered permeable alley is working wonderfully. As far as I know, there have been 0 backyard and basement water issues due to the alley runoff since the project came to fruition. With some added sunken paver fixing, we'll be set for the long haul. 2, our neighborhood streets look great and curbside appeal, too, is better. Given the very recent sidewalk fixes. They look really nice. 3, residents continue to be benefactors of life becoming better and easier, village bill paying, village communications, to name a few. But personally, I recently benefited by one of the village's utility technology upgrades. Our cleaning folks accidentally left the lever engaged, and water was running continuously in a toilet tank in a bathroom not often used. Even though only 8 hours had passed up till the morning when I got up, waking to a village email warning, we'd wasted almost 4,000 gallons of water. I diagnosed the problem. This was about, at that point, 50 times our monthly total in just 8 hours. This could have been very problematic and exponentially expensive without the alert. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And finally, number 4, even though this is still in the decision phase, it looks like a new building is coming at Madison Ashland. To me, it's exciting that we have this great site, contractor, and a plan to put a state-of-the-art residential commercial opportunity out there. I can't wait until the building is complete. Hopefully it happens. FYI, there are many people in town that think this is a great idea. Just thought I'd share that with you. This is going to sound a little Park District-y, but just an announcement. Thank you again for partnering with the Park District and actually for all that you do. I think Park District stuff keeps me busy. You guys are way busier than we are, and you come here every other Monday night to do what you do. Thank you very much. And I think all of us, in a way, get kind of beat up sometimes, and it's nice that we get paid to do what we do, right? Yeah.
A lot. We get paid a lot.
So just this PD news. Thank you all again for partnering again. Washington Commons Playground is great. It's proven. It's been there for a little while. We enjoyed being in the park ourselves and watching other people enjoy it and getting a lot of positive comments. 2 quick up-and-comers. Priory Park. The new building is open. The splash pad will be very, very soon. They're actually staining the cement tomorrow. We're going to have a ribbon cutting with that after the 4th of July, along with a ribbon cutting for Constitution one day after the other. The new playground, ball field, sand volleyball, new bathrooms, and social area will be open very soon. AEDs included. Very soon they're coming, so we're not going to forget about that. But I know you're the point guy on that, so. So stay tuned. Please come and join us. We're going to have all kinds of announcements going to different groups in town and just general blasts and whatnot. Very lastly, and this is a serious topic, safety. I think we might have an opportunity to get better at handling bad situations. We all want to think River Forest is always quiet and safe and calm and nice, cozy place to live. Not so here all the time, and really not anywhere. We need to step it up in two main ways. The first thing I call is post-help. If there's a singular situation or a string of like circumstances happening that involve an aspect of safety, I think we owe it to our residents maybe to educate them. An example would be after a resident was accosted down the block from actually where we live at Linden and Park Avenue. I think this was an opportunity to educate. For example, say something like, when navigating the village or anywhere, especially if you are alone, and especially if it is late, be aware of bystanders, be aware of your environment, don't wander, etc. Just a thought. When I was going over my notes today, I failed to actually call the village, so this may be off base for my second piece. Do we have any kind of like an Amber type alert that you get on your phone, or like a weather, like emergency thing for residents
For just
texting?
River Forest?
Yeah, for River Forest.
Well, there's an Amber Alert, I think, nationally, or, maybe you can trust it.
Just
Yeah.
No, that's thank you for bringing it up, Mike. We are working right now we have our communication system through social media and email, but beyond that, we're looking to start publicizing this summer more dedicated, more for emergency alert to your phone for certain things, whether it's something you describe here or certain water main breaks, other things that need to be directly to people. So we're working with the fire and police department working on that this summer.
That is great to hear. Just in the last year or so, a guy was running around our neighborhood, and they found him in the back of a car. Just 2 weeks ago, some bad guys were running through the village east or west of the River Forest Tennis Club. About a year ago, they found an AR gun in a garbage can, and bad guys were running around the 200 block Ashland Park. All these people got caught. But, we just want to tell people to stay in their house if things aren't too good outside their house. So thank you very much, Board.
Damn. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. And let us know when that ribbon cutting will be, for sure, on those projects.
All over the place.
Yeah.
I think we have notes going to like the library folks, village folks, affiliates even.
And we'll get it out on our newsletter, too, when you say it's ready. Okay. Okay, thanks, Mike. So we also have now 3 from the Vet Center, Wayne, Homer, and Ronald. Do I have that right? Wayne, you can go first. Homer, Ronald, if you want to go all together, however you want to do it. Okay.
You kick it off. Oh, no. Oh, you want me to kick it off? Okay. All right, no problem. Good evening, trustees. Thank you again for having me, as always. And I had a great time at the parade, just to let you know.
Good.
Met an Army Ranger, Sergeant V, and I. We almost talked through the parade, but we had a good time. The reason why I'm here today is because I'm getting a lot of support from other veterans in the River Forest community. And outside the River Forest community, we growing really rapid fast. Have y'all saw any of the photos of the great work we done? Mm-hmm. And the space wheels is very limited, so we host a lot of events, housing, educational seminars, scholarships for veterans and families, and we need a bigger space because we actually going to hire more people like from National Lewis. Just for a good example, I had a meeting with them this morning, and I'm going to acquire 3 interns. Well, actually, we're going to be interviewing 3 interns. So we constantly growing, and we also employing people, so we helping the unemployment rate going down. So great opportunity for y'all to be heroes. Yep. So with that being said, we looking at the property located at 7610 Madison Street. It's a building for sale. Have not spoke with the owner yet, but looking into. But we need support, as far as financial support from the village if we can. So I'm open to any suggestions from the village for support. So I'm gonna let the resident, retired Lieutenant Colonel Wayne Toberman, to elaborate.
Okay. Hey, Wayne.
Madam President, trustees, my wife, myself, and our family are 3 generations of, including my parents, military family, and son was a West Pointer. And we've been in the village for over 45 years. And during this period of time, we've seen some major changes in support for the veteran community, the active duty community, and it's exemplary. It's never been this good before, and it's very, very encouraging. To pick up where Homer left off, this is a very, very important asset to the community. When I say community, I say we're in this together. We have River Forest, Oak Park, and Forest Park. All together, if you'd let me read this, according to the last census, excluding active duty, which are not properly counted, the resident veterans in River Forest, Oak Park, and Forest Park are as follows. We have 2,329 veterans that this facility would support. River Forest itself has 282 gross, 219 male, 63 female, of which my wife is one. She's a 36-year veteran, lieutenant colonel, who retired also. Forest Park, 664 with 579 male, 85 female. Oak Park, 1,383 with 1,225 male and 158 females. We are underserved. To put it mildly, when my wife retired, it took 5 years for the VA to go ahead and see its way clear to get her the care she needed, the attention she needed, and in regards to the files and everything and her records. She fell through the crack 3 separate times. I fell through the crack 2 times. Took me 3 years when I retired. I resubmitted through Homer's office, and he's an exemplary person. He was able to take care of this latest filings in regards to some spinal issues and some other odds. I don't want to get into that here, but he trimmed it down to under 9 months. And I was evaluated, I was coded, and we went for there, and they went ahead and they took care of the situation. So he is a very, very astute. He's one of the best VA advocates I've ever seen, and I don't say that lightly. So, I don't know if that carries any weight or whatever, but I wholeheartedly support the Vet Center, where it's going to go, and the job it's going to do, because I swear every person on this list is going to need his support at one time or another, and to go to Hines is obscene. The VA Center is obscene how they handle the vets over there, and it is just wrong. And he cuts through that, and he puts a face on the people. He puts flesh and blood in front of these evaluators, and he forces them to go ahead and care whether they want to or not. So, on that note,
All right.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Wayne.
Good evening, community. My name's Sergeant First Class Ronald Villagomez. I'm 30-year retired Sergeant First Class. I operated in Special Operations arena. I came out of retirement to help Homer in reaching out to veterans that are being neglected. America Cares 2 is that organization that reaches out. We don't stand and sit down. We don't sit down on our laurels and let time go pass us by. We reach out to the veterans and express to them we care. And when I say boots on the ground, we are the boots on the ground. We reach out and let them know we're here to help. I thank the River Forest Committee and you, the folks here present, for identifying us as a nonprofit organization. And I wish to continue conducting business with you folks as best as possible. Everything else that has been said before me speaks for itself. I don't need to elaborate anymore. Like I said, I work in special operations, so I know exactly what these gentlemen have gone through. So thank you very much, and I'll leave it at that.
Thanks. Here's what as you know, our town is very big in veterans affairs, and because we have such a great Memorial Day parade. But I would suggest maybe you officially meet with Matt Walsh and talk about what options there are out there. I mean, there's a variety of things that are going through my head. I'm sure a variety of things that might be going through Matt's heads in terms of what we can do, maybe the direction we can take. But that's what I would suggest right now is maybe meeting with Matt and his team, and then we'll circle back to the board here, if that makes sense. Homer, yeah. Oh, okay, great, thank you. All right, that concludes the public testimony. So I will go ahead and move on to elected officials. Lisa, would you want to start first? Okay. Thank you, Homer.
First, I hope that everybody had a great Father's Day. We haven't been together for a while, so I hope the rain didn't squelch too many plans. Two, I want to thank residents who raised concerns about a village contractor not adhering to the gas leaf blower ban. So either Jack or Matt, can you just speak to what happened and how we addressed it? And then I just have one more request after you guys speak. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Trustee Gillis. Yes, we had notified our sidewalk contractor of the new requirements regarding the requirement to use the prohibition on using gas-powered leaf blowers. Unfortunately, the contractor ignored that directive, so the village did issue our own contractor a citation for that violation on that Saturday.
Okay. And what are we doing, like when we say you notified them, that was part of the briefing for the job?
Correct, yes. So for most projects of that nature, we have a pre-construction meeting where we go over the restrictions, the hours of operation, things the like, to make sure everything's secure, traffic, and that was one of the things that was shared and reiterated to them in advance of the weekend work when the restoration was going to take place.
Okay, and then how are we enforcing across the rest of the village? For example, I had a neighbor take it upon themselves to walk up and address a contractor, which I would say is probably not the best thing to do because it wasn't a very positive communication. So what is an alternate method to for if residents see somebody using a gas blower? Because the goal here isn't to demonize anybody. The goal is to basically work with all of our contractors on compliance through a positive dialogue in both potentially English and Spanish, I might add, correct?
Sure, correct. So yes, we encourage residents to reach out to the village over the phone or through our service request platform to share any observation or complaints about seeing that work out there. We don't encourage residents to take it upon themselves to try and enforce village codes. That's why we are here. So you can either call Village Hall or use our service request platform. We also are out there proactively looking at contractors that are in doing work in the community to make sure that they are following the rules. For the first month or so, from May 15th until last week, we were approaching contractors that were using gas-powered leaves and sharing information about it as kind of an educational warning. But now we have begun issuing citations when we observe contractors using gas-powered leaf blowers.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Two things. Just I also want to wish a happy belated Father's Day for our dads from yesterday. And also then looking to the future, July 4th, wishing everybody a happy and safe 4th of July. So.
Thanks, Bryce. Rosa?
I have nothing to add.
Nothing to, okay. Hi, Katie.
Hi. I wanted to congratulate those who participated and planned the Pride event, because I don't think we've met since then. And I think that's largely thanks to you, Megan, and Erica, who isn't here tonight. You had beautiful weather. It was very well attended, and I think, another success. So congratulations. And then I also want to thank everyone who was involved with and participated in our Juneteenth flag raising, our 5th annual. We had a very hardworking committee, so I want to mention their names. Sheila Radford Hill, Kirk Johnson, Kay Clay, Renee Duba, Ariel Schick, Francesca Arnold, Emily Compton, and our own Trish Ivansek. So I want to thank everyone who was involved because it was, again, a beautiful event. I think maybe our best yet. And I also want to thank the fire department for helping to raise the flag with the brownies. We did not have as good weather as the Pride event did, but you guys got it up. And also want to thank Public Works and the police department and the fire department for donating to the raffle. It was really wonderful. They donated rides in department-specific vehicles, and I'm sure that those who won those are very excited to take advantage of their prizes. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is another event that we're planning, and this is going to be a first annual. This is the Twin Village Covenant Cup. This is a kickball event that's going to be held this year in August in Keystone Field in honor of the Twin Village Covenant between the villages of Maywood and River Forest, and inspired by the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. We have a wonderful committee working on that, including our very own Luke and Commander Marty Grill. And I want to officially ask the elected officials around the table to save the date for that event, which is August 8th. It's a Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. at Keystone. A hometown kickball game. And I want to give a special thanks to Byline Bank, which is sponsoring the event for us, also Ferrara Pan, and there may be one more sponsor that's coming down the pike. So if you're able to participate, it's going to the players are going to be the elected officials and staff. If you're able to participate, Luke, can I ask that people get back to you? You want to start our roster?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Okay, great. Megan?
Thank you. I'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement. As we begin, we are mindful that we hold these meetings on land that was once and still is inhabited by Indigenous people, including the Ojibwa, Chippewa, Menominee, Potawatomi nations, and more. We'll remember our nation's history and honor the Native people as stewards of this land that was colonized, and that River Forest continues to be a place where many people from diverse backgrounds live and gather. I was also going to thank everybody who participated in the Pride Walk and those who were helping on the village and township side. It was an amazing thing to have all of our taxing bodies represented there. A special thanks to John Beckvar for his support in this event through the years, and Erica Bachner, as well as the village staff and police department and fire department for all the help that they provide the event and making sure it's safe. We really appreciate it. It's a fun one for the kids. I'd also like to give a round of applause to the Public Works team for managing all of our wind and our storms. I was talking to Jack when we were at Juneteenth, and he mentioned that we had no damage to homes. Our arborists had managed to contain any trees that were threatening to fall on homes, and we had no injuries, which I think is remarkable, and it speaks to the care that the team has taken with our canopy. So thank you, Public Works. And thank you also to the police department. Parents around the village are noticing your enforcement activities as regards to e-bikes. And we're seeing that that's having an impact on how the kids are riding. And I'm looking forward to the new rules being instituted as we hit January. But in the meantime, we really appreciate all you're doing.
Great, thanks, Megan. Bob?
Am I wrong? Have we met since Memorial Day?
We met in, June.
No, we haven't. So I'm going to go back to Memorial Day. Huh?
This is June.
Yeah. Again, some shout outs again to Kiwanis and for all their hard work on putting this together in collaboration with the Park District and our village staff. You know, the administrative staff, the police department, the fire department, public works. You know, this is all kind of holidays for everybody, and so we really appreciate it. And I know we had the police department out there all over the place, so it was great. I'd love to see that the drone photo at some point in time, because that was kind of a cool idea. To kind of tag along onto what Megan mentioned about the e-bikes, just in general, kids out on bikes right now. Kind of watch it out when they're driving, because they're not watching where you are. So just be careful. And again, just it's summertime, so hopefully we'll get through it with no incidents. And so everybody be mindful of all of our kids out there. Thanks.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I'll just want to echo what everybody said regarding all of our events. We have some really great events in River Forest, and a lot of people come out and enjoy it. So that we really appreciate. The only thing I'll add is the one thing that I did do, which really was a cool thing. It was a fundraising effort for, I believe it was Willard, right, school. It was to be the president of the day. And so we had a young man who, I won't say his name because I don't have permission, but a young man that was the president of the day, and he really enjoyed doing that. He enjoyed riding in the fire truck, riding in the police on the plow. But most importantly, he saw himself writing an ordinance on e-scooters, and his mom and caretaker and others were in the audience, and they were in awe over kind of the things that we do around this table and how important some of these ordinances are that we pass. And he was really good at it. I mean, he realized, and he came right out and said, he says, most of the offenders are parents who don't wear helmets. So the kids are watching. If anybody's listening, your children are watching you. So please wear a helmet when you ride your bike or e-scooter. But that was kind of a neat idea, and I hope we can continue to, give that to Willard and Lincoln and as a fundraising effort. It's a great idea. All right, that's all I have. Yeah.
I have one more too. Just a reminder to everybody, village stickers are now available, and let's get those on our cars. And if you have sold a car, please let the village know so you get a little ticket.
Get harassed.
Tell that to my daughter. Yep.
Oh, I just have one more thing, because welcome to Joy Tea, that did open up their brick and mortar. They're testing this week from 7 to 3. And in completing some work that I'm doing, I have been talking to a lot of the businesses on Lake Street around our Pocket Park, and they're very excited for that park to be put in place. They think it's long overdue and will be very helpful for them in terms of people just kind of buying something and taking advantage and sitting and relaxing and enjoying. So just wanted to pass on that positive feedback.
Yeah. We just approved it, so we're working hard to get it done. All right, very good, thank you. And so let's move on to our consent agenda. We've got a lot here. If I can get a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda A through R.
Could we pull D and I?
Which one?
D.
D?
Yep, and I.
Okay.
And K and L, please.
Okay. Now, okay.
Motion to approve consent agenda items A through C, E through
H,
H,
J.
J, M, N, O, P, Q, R.
Okay.
No, D, you pull D.
Yes, I said it.
So E, you don't, not D through, right? You want E. E.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we get that. Everything but D, L, K, no, I, K, L. Okay. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll ask Rosa to go ahead and Is there any comments or questions regarding that? We will get to the recognition in a minute, but other than that, is there any comments or questions regarding the other items? Hearing none, go ahead. We'll ask you to read out aloud and then take the vote.
Consent agenda item 5A, recognition of Michael Trucco resolution. B, proclamation recognizing Pollinator Week. C, purchase approval, wing plow, Monroe, $30,258. E, purchase approval, SCBA Air Packs Air One equipment, $34,700. F, purchase approval, First Due Records Management, $25,228. G, purchase approval, Turnout Gear Air One equipment, $14,512. H, purchase approval, PD Men's Locker Room renovations, SMB Contracting, $100,000. J, purchase approval, 5 Tri-Band Squad radios, Motorola, $51,270.55. M, accounts payable, May 2026, $3,255,297.69. N, May 2026 financial report. O, administration department report. P, monthly department reports. Q, ordinance reassigning parking spaces at 418 Franklin. And R, Village Board of Trustees meeting minutes, May 11th, 2026.
Okay.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so before we move on to the next other items, I just want to recognize Mr. Trucco, who's in the audience with his lovely wife, Kim. You just got approved, so I wanted to wait till we got the approval, Mike, because I didn't want to assume. But I do want to recognize we have a resolution that we just passed, and I'd like to read it out loud, but I'd also like to have you come up, and Kim, maybe you too. Kim? Oh, okay. Well, this is, Mike, this is the resolution we just passed, and I'd like to read it out loud so it's in the record. Of course, I can't read it because I don't have the book. Thank you. So it is a resolution honoring Michael Trucco and providing an honorary designation to the 900 block of Clinton Place. So it says, whereas the Board of and Fire and Police Commissioners of the Village of River Forest is responsible for overseeing the testing, screening, hiring, and promotion of members of the village police and fire departments in accordance with Illinois law. And whereas service on the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners often require members to dedicate significant time to reviewing applications, conducting interviews, administrating examinations, and attending meetings that frequently occur during evenings and on short notice. And whereas Michael Trucco was appointed to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners in 2004 and has since served as a steady and guiding presence on the commission, consistently demonstrating professionalism, sound judgment, and a strong commitment to public service. And whereas in 2015, Michael Trucco was appointed chair of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, and in this expanded leadership role, continued to demonstrate professionalism, sound judgment, and an unwavering commitment to public service that had distinguished his tenure on the commission. And whereas during this tenure, Mr. Trucco has played an integral role in the hiring and the promotion of more than 50 police officers and more than 20 firefighters, helping to ensure fair, thorough, and merit-based selection process for the village's public safety departments. And whereas the Village of River Forest recognizes and appreciates the support, patience, and sacrifice of Mr. Trucco's wife, Kim, and his family, whose encouragement and understanding made possible his many years of dedicated service to this community. The village president and the Board of Trustees of the Village of River Forest do hereby recognize and extend their sincere appreciation to Michael Trucco for his decades of outstanding service, dedication, contribution to the cultural and economic vitality of this community. Be it further resolved that the 900 block of Clinton Place shall have a secondary designation as Michael Trucco Way. The Board of Trustees requests that the village place an honorary street sign on Clinton to reflect the Michael Trucco Way. So, you have a Michael Trucco Way sign. Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you, That's great. That's great.
And here is, this is yours to keep,
Okay.
but we will have one up on the Clinton block.
This is very nice of you.
You're
Very,
welcome.
very embarrassing, but very nice of you.
Well, it's been quite a tenure, and we appreciate it. I know the chief has something as well he wants to give you.
Commissioner Trucco, on behalf of the police department and the fire department, I'd like to present to you the shadow box. Unfortunately, doesn't have any of the fire stuff in it, but I'm sure we can work on that. But it's a shadow box just to show our appreciation to you and your family for your many years of service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. First of all, Madam President, it was a pleasure to serve. It was a pleasure to work for the community as you are all doing, but more importantly, it was a privilege to serve with the people I served with. It was a great commission from the start. When I started in 2004 under the leadership of Bob Coleman, we evolved through many different commissioners over the years, but all the time it was a strong body that had the interests of all of the residents of the village at heart. When we would interview young people that wanted to become firefighters, paramedics, or police officers, and I can assure you that over the years I've been on this commission, we have done our best to hire the best, as exemplified by the current constituents in both of those departments who I had the privilege to interview, who we as a commission had the privilege to hire. And I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Renee Morris, who is the secretary of the commission, who does remarkable work and puts a face on the village, to all of our candidates as a wonderful place to work, a safe community to protect, and a great place to be. And she is equally responsible for all of the success we've had over the past many years. And to the leadership of the departments, it was a privilege working with you, and all of our citizens should rest assured that we're in good hands, we're safe, and the people who have pledged an oath to serve and protect us are doing a remarkable job.
Yeah.
So thank you all.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. Very good. Did you get a picture? Again, thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kim, for being here. It's an important commission, so thank you again for all your work and dedication. Thank you, guys. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and continue on the consent agenda. We'll take item D first. So if I get a motion and a second for item D.
Motion to approve item D, purchase approval for a front-end multipurpose bucket McCann for $14,675.
Second.
Thank you. All right. Megan?
My question here is just about the bids. It looks like there's a bid from Gem Manufacturing for $20,695, but then it refers to McCann. Were there two bids?
No, thank you very much for the question. So McCann is the producer of the front end loader and our dealer that we went through to solicit the bids. So they will be purchasing from Gem Manufacturing, who is the lowest bidder of the three. But we went through McCann, who is the producer of the front end loader and the dealer we're working through.
Thank you. That was my only question.
Okay. Any further questions or comments on D? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to read it out loud and then take the vote.
Item 5D, purchase approval, front-end multipurpose bucket, McCann, $14,675. Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Kiscatello?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go on to item I, purchase approval replacement upgrade. If I can get a motion and a second, and then we'll discuss it.
Move to approve purchase approval replacement / upgrades to street camera systems from Avignon. I don't know how to pronounce it. For $163,500.
Second.
Okay, great.
And here I just have a couple of questions, Chief.
Yep, of course.
Chief, is this for all of the street cameras in our system? It's for the replacement?
These are, replacements. It won't be, majority is all replacement. It's not for additional items we had fleshed out in phases over the years.
And how many cameras do we have in our system?
It's about 76, I believe, to 80.
And
Yeah.
how many need replacement? Do they all?
That's the unknown.
Okay.
But a lot of the equipment's been phased in, like I said, over time. So we have newer equipment that's not going to necessarily need to be replaced. We're going to focus on the older infrastructure, and then identify those items as we go through what's in the greatest need of replacement versus what's new that doesn't need replaced at all.
And when we think about our camera systems, do we have about the same number of camera systems as other villages, more or less?
In the area, I would say more.
Okay.
I can't speak to nationwide, but as far as our neighbors to the east, Oak Park doesn't have any. Elmwood Park has some. Forest Park has some, and other towns do. But we have a very good network of cameras. We use the technology on a regular basis to help investigate crimes after they've occurred, or things like crashes after they've occurred, so we can see what exactly happened rather than just depending on what people remember or what they say, or if nobody was there, what happened. So.
And where does the data from our systems go?
It's all internal. It doesn't leave without. There's no. There's no sharing of it unless it's for a criminal matter from another agency. Say it's a camera on Harlem Avenue that catches something in Oak Park, and Oak Park requests it. We'll provide it to them.
Okay. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Okay, is there any other further questions for the chief? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and take the vote. Yeah, read it out loud.
5I, purchase approval, replacement / upgrades to street camera system, Avigilon, $163,500. Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to K.
We can do K and L together because I didn't know where to do it, so I'll make a motion to award of contract for 2026 Village Hall permeable paver parking lot Phase 1 construction, and award of contract 2026 Village Hall permeable paving lot Phase 2.
Okay. I hear a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay. Question?
Jack, if you would. So like Mr. Grant stated, permeable pavers working well. And I know we're going on to continue this work. I happened to be home the day they were cleaning the permeable pavers in my alley, and the guy took a lot of time and it really did a nice job with it. And my question is, given what the cost to maintain these are versus a couple of years ago, I think we looked at, as part of our process, buying a machine to clean these. Any feedback on cost versus owning?
Yep. Thank you for that question. So what I would say is, a few years ago, we demoed a couple different types of machinery just that handle this type of work. The initial estimates we got back were closer to $250,000, just that type of equipment. But also some of the feedback that we've even had from some of our contractors is this equipment is very fragile, breaks a lot, and we don't think necessarily that the technology is there yet in terms of just maintaining that particular thing. Now, we've had successes. We have all of our alleys on a triannual rejuvenation or refurbishment process. So we go out to bid every year. We've actually had a couple years where the contractor's equipment will break down. They need to bring something else in to then make the repair. So luckily, that burden of that equipment breaking down is not on our backs. It's on their backs, and they just come in and they fix it. But I think that is something, obviously, with everything that we have in the village, with how many permeable paver alleys we have the parking lot that's going to be coming up in the future. That's something we evaluate year over year, is just whether or not that would make sense, or do we keep going contractually.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Any further questions on this item? Okay, hearing none. You can read it
Item
out loud.
5K, award of contract 2026 Village Hall permeable paver parking lot Phase 1 construction MYS $491,340.30. Item L, award of contract 2026 Village Hall permeable paver parking lot Phase 2 CBBEL $32,980. Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Gillis,
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez,
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the recommendations of boards and commissions and committee. There's one from the zoning board. This will need a motion to approve this ordinance for this variation. If I can get a motion and a second.
Okay, motion to approve an ordinance granting the requested variation to section 10-9-7 of the zoning code at 846 Forest Avenue.
Second.
All right. We'll let you guys fight over that.
Yeah.
Is there any questions you want to, is there a presentation? Is there something you need to say?
No.
Is the client here or resident?
Jessica will just provide a brief overview, no real in-depth presentation, but if there's any questions, we're happy to
All right.
answer them.
Hello, thank you. So the homeowner has requested a variation regarding the side yard setback as well as the secondary front yard, secondary setback. There is, the way that the home is structured on the lot right now, it's actually too close to the lot line. It was built that way prior to our zoning codes existing. And so because they came before us for the second variation they've requested, we are attempting to clear up the legal confusion here by saying their house can be where it is in reference to the lot. They're on the corner of the lot. So they have the regular front yard and then they have the secondary front side yard. So we're clearing that little bit of a legal kerfuffle for them. What the reason they came in is on a portion of their home. It's a 2-story home, but there is a portion that extends that's only a single floor. And they would like to add an addition that would match the exact floor plan of the first floor and then just simply build it straight up so that it matches the height of the rest of the home. So that's the variation that's needed.
Are they also like fixing the roof so it all kind of matches?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what's
And blending
causing
it in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're not going out any further toward the road than they already are, because there is no sidewalk on that one side.
Correct.
either.
Right.
Just exactly where you see the first floor, if you were to drive past it, they're just building straight up.
Okay, thanks.
Jessica, is this a variation that required the notification of the neighbor? And has the neighbor responded?
Yes, this did require the notification of neighbors within 250 feet of the property, and we received one letter that was in support of the project.
Okay, thank you.
That's all. Okay. All right, I am hearing no further.
Just as an aside, I mean, in our packet, we normally have the Plata survey and photos. So in the future, can we make sure we get those back in?
Yes, absolutely.
It was after the fact.
It was after.
We added it
the fact.
after.
Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
Bob.
But yes, that will be included
Yeah.
for any such going forward.
The
Thank you.
attachment was
Missing in the original.
missing
They
originally,
sent it
so.
today.
And then they sent it around 2 o'clock or
Yeah.
something like that. So, and that was part of it. Okay, so, yep, we'll make sure we double check on this. Okay, any further questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and take the vote, please.
Item 7A, Zoning Board of Appeals, request for zoning variation, 846 Forest Avenue. Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Okay, so we have some unfinished business here. We can't take them together? A and B?
Yeah.
If you guys want to, I mean, we can separate them too, but they're basically
Okay.
the same.
Okay.
So I can get a motion and a second.
Okay. I move to approve a resolution authorizing the execution of the joint funding agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for Lake Street Intersections Improvement Project and approve a resolution for the Lake Street traffic calming measures with Acura Inc. of Bentonville, Illinois in the amount of $242,112 plus a 10% contingency of $24,211.20 for a total not to exceed amount of $266,323.20 and authorize the village administrator to execute a contract in compliance with the resolutions.
Second.
All right, great, thanks. I don't know, Jack, if you want to say anything. I know this is a big issue for a lot of residents along Lake Street, particularly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you. So we have two separate items here. The first one, it's a great thing. We got money from the state for Safe Routes to School. So they provided us grant funding and were notified us towards the end of May for Edgewood and Franklin. Because these are federal dollars, there's requirements that come with getting those federal dollars. However, we already went out to bid for the entirety of the project, which is what you saw in the packet. We would like to move forward with William and Jackson as soon as possible. So we reached out to the two low bidders and asked them if they would hold their unit prices. As you saw in the memo, they did. And so we are looking to approve William and Jackson, move forward with building that as I work through the documentation and the needed stuff for Franklin and Edgewood.
All right, pretty straightforward. Any questions for Jack on these? Pretty straightforward. Okay, we'll go ahead and take the vote, please. Thanks, Jack.
Item 8A, Lake Street Traffic Calming Improvements Joint Funding Agreement, IDOT Safe Walk to School Grant. Item B.
You can just take the vote. I don't think you have to.
We don't have to do B?
No, we have to do
No.
both of them. You don't
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
read it out loud. But go ahead.
Oh.
You can continue.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Award of contract Lake Street calming measures at William and Jackson.
Okay.
Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Cascatello?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, so we've got two new businesses, no action, but two good pieces of information. One is on the waste service contract with LRS. So we'll take that one first.
Yep. Okay, we have a very brief presentation that will walk us through some of what you received in your packet in terms of information. So, Luke, if I could, well, I have the clicker over here. There we go. So our current LRS contract was approved in April 2022, and it extends through April 2027. Obviously, we know LRS acquired Strom, their village contract, in late 2020, and our contracts with Strom date back to the 1980s. So in the contract that was approved in 2022, there is a provision for a 5-year renewal. So LRS reached out to us regarding the opportunity to extend the agreement. They brought up a couple items as part of the renewal for us to take a look at, options that the village board can consider. Here we have basically just a summary of just what a year one extension would look like. As part of the extension, they propose a year one 4% increase and then 3.75 through the remainder of the contract. Here you have just a breakdown of one of the items that they've proposed, which is basically an opt-in compost program. For reference here, participation rates, just in terms of where we've been with composting, the most subscribers that we've had at any point within the period of time that we've had this contract has been 556, sort of why you see the different tiers of just where that pricing goes. So right there you just have the pricing. You have the year one with that 4% increase of 35.45, and then you have the different tiers based on what we see potentially with compost subscription. So really at this point, what I'm looking at looking to do is sort of provide what has been initially proposed by LRS and just feedback regarding some of the composting options that they have here. What I will say is, I guess one of the reasons that this was brought up, I know early on, a couple years ago, composting was a large discussion here amongst the village board. So they just came back with just a potential option for how that can be introduced into the service contract. So I don't know how anyone.
So I guess to summarize, right now we've effectively been given a couple options if we want to continue with LRS, and there's no action or final action required. We're seeking feedback to go back to LRS to kind of continue the negotiations. One would be a continuation of the same services as we have today, and that's a 4% increase in year one with 3.75 increases the years after that. And then another option would be to consider this idea of kind of incorporating composting into the service in a different way than we have now when you opt in, and only those that opt in are paying a certain fee. This sets out a scenario where that cost would be spread across all of the customers in town, and that price is tied to how many compost subscribers there are. The reason that it kind of grades up is because of the need for additional staff and vehicles to perform that work if there are more compost subscribers. In addition to this, we've also requested, or through the conversations with them, sought more additional hours in leaf collection. LRS helps with our annual leaf collection, so that's another thing that LRS has agreed to in principle for the renewal period.
Go back to this composting thing because it's confusing. You're saying that the price of pickup would include composting for everybody?
Only people who opt in. So I guess one of the discussion points that we've had is currently the maximum that we've had is 556 people that have subscribed. With this model, you would have to opt in to be in the composting, but the price of it is spread across the whole. So it's similar to doing like an opt-out, but rather than opting out, having to opt out, and you're just paying for it totally, you're opting in, and then there's a tiered approach for how many people are taking advantage of the program.
So said another way, only those who are using it are paying for it.
No.
Not what I'm hearing.
As it's currently designed, Bob, that is the case. But under this, this is an option for consideration that
And what
cost would be spread.
What do people currently pay for compost?
It is, I have that right here. Hold on. So curbside compost collection for the 6465 is $16.88 per, is in addition to their regular service. So if their regular service, your base service is $34.09, you would add $16.88 on top of that.
And how many households do we have in the village that LRS serves?
We have 2,924 customers.
Okay, so
LRS customers.
the cost would be spread across the 2,994 customers.
Yes, across that whole total, 2,924.
So this would essentially be making the compost similar to like the leaf pickup and the hazardous waste and the electronic waste pickup. We all cover it, and some take advantage of it more than others. And same, I guess, was recycling and trash also.
So correct, this would be basically a service that now is offered to everyone, included in the service. They would then evaluate each. The reason we have the tiers is we also, LRS, in some of the discussions, LRS wants to make sure that there's protections for not only the village, but also for them, depending on how many people participate. So if you have only 650 homes who just they don't want to participate in composting, only 650 people do, this is what the rate would be frozen at. But if you go over that, then it jumps to the different tiers.
So basically, just to make sure I'm clear, so it's an extra $1.15 per month,
If it up to 650 homes.
and then it goes to, okay, I'm bad at math, $202.15, etc.
And the more people in it, the more expensive it gets.
Right.
Shouldn't it be the opposite?
It
And
should
how
be
much?
the opposite.
Yeah, but how much? How much
But
is the?
You're collecting waste though.
But how much is the? Because I don't know, but I use them now. What are the tags costing per? Like, do you know the bag tags?
The bag tags, I do have that in here. Well,
Because it saves money for them. Anybody that uses bag tags, you won't have to do that anymore.
Yep.
In theory.
I think one of the other slides has that.
Yep, $3.60 is the bag tag currently. And then there's a universal stick. So the other part of this too is if you are within the composting program, the idea being the solid waste tags, you're not getting that. You're not purchasing that. You have your composting bin.
Yeah. So is there an option just to keep everything the same?
There is.
Yeah.
And that's part of the discussion too is
4%.
it's whether or not, yeah.
But that's there anyway, right?
So it would be
If
35,
we just keep everything the same, I mean, even if we went with this, we'd still have a 4% increase of some service, right?
Right.
Correct. They are proposing a 4% increase if nothing changes.
So yes, this second proposal with this compost would be in addition to that. So yes, the option would be to consider the same service, and it would just be based on the percentage, and that same
I don't see
increase
this.
would apply to the composting rates for
I
those
just
that
say
have already.
this is,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it in the past, and it's a nice feature. I mean, you know, people who want to compost will compost. I don't, you know, I think this is going to be complicated.
Looks to me, maybe I'm reading the math that you just did. It looks to me like it only goes up $1 something, and we're able to offer compost to the whole village. Well,
No,
to
they
certain compost to 600 something people,
Yeah.
and then if more people want to compost, it goes up, incrementally, but not a lot.
No,
No.
I don't think it's the issue of going up. I think it's people who say, I don't want it,
And then pay for it.
and then
Right.
pay for it.
But if I understand this correctly, all they're paying more is like $1 something more, correct?
For that first level, that first curtain, that would be.
Mhm.
If, say, the 50% of the village were to subscribe to composting, it would be $4.15
Yeah.
more than it would be if we kept the program the same. And then the 50%, under that scenario, if 50% of the village, 50% of the village would be
Yeah.
paying their fee directly like they would now, but right now we're closer to
Yeah.
They would also pay
25%,
the base. I mean,
Yeah.
they pay.
Right.
base is included in those numbers.
No, I get that, but I'm saying if, like
But
now,
it-
if you have nothing, I don't. Let's say I assume I'm not composting. What will you charge me?
So if you're not composting based on the proposal, it would be $35.45.
So you're paying
Right.
money.
Right, so you're
It's not
paying
$1. It's $45.
No, it's only $1 something more.
No, I'm not
the
composting
difference.
now.
Yes, the difference would be, so currently, your base service would be $34.09. That's before the 4% increase, no matter what happens. So if the 4% happens, you're at $35.45 without composting.
And then let's say we all get composting.
If the entire village does composting, it goes to $41.10.
Okay.
But you would have to opt into that.
And one thing, I know we're not voting on this tonight, but I do agree with Trustee Brennan in that all of our services, not everybody takes advantage. And for example, now that I'm an empty nester, I don't have a lot of trash, but I still pay the same amount. So you could make that analogy. I think it's a good one.
No, I agree. I understand that.
We have minimum water requirement rates too. So it's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, I think it's a decision to want to offer this service village-wide and, stand by our sustainability commitments.
I mean, I agree with that. I think, but if people don't want it, I mean, I'm here. At the end, I understand the equivalency of what you just both said. It's just that it's an explanation to everybody that you're getting billed for it regardless.
I guess if
we don't
people
really.
want it,
Oh, go
right?
ahead.
No, I was just saying, if people want it. How many people are taking advantage of it?
Right now, 556.
It's 556 current. That's the
556
most,
out of
553
So
now.
You're saying 2,000 something? households?
900.
Almost 3,000.
Almost 3,000.
Okay.
Well, we also know that it's the people are sharing. That's happening, and it's not available to people in apartment buildings above
That
a
is
certain
correct.
size.
Well,
So
yes.
it's not all households that can actually ever use it.
3,000 all households or just the
No,
ones that are
well,
eligible?
this doesn't count the multifamily.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
homes
the
that have their
3,000?
own arrangements
No.
with LRS or other waste
Other
haulers,
providers.
right.
Okay, thank you
Whatever.
for that clarification.
And is this, what size bin? Because they offer 3 size bins, right?
Correct. So what LRS has proposed is the ones, the subscribers that have either the 32 or the 95 can keep them. What they are trying to do, again, to try to give us the, I guess, most efficient price, because depending on where it goes or how big the program gets, they have to dedicate people, they have to dedicate just picking it up. So they want to standardize it to the 65-gallon cart. That's what they want to do.
Guess we need to noodle it on it. Sounds like more. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to sell to people that don't want it, didn't opt in, and then you say, hey, you got to pay more, even though you don't take advantage of it.
But again, you could say that's what happened with recycling back in the day. So it's just a evolution of waste management.
Well,
So,
Yeah, it might
but
also-
I
it
get
al-
it. I totally get what you're saying.
But then,
I get
I'm
what you
just
guys are
saying
saying,
then,
too.
okay.
Totally get it.
I'm just saying, but then if the other items you do, the hazardous waste, whatever, or the computers that you can only give 7 items and you got to give like, I don't know how much in advance and you got to put it in the box and you got to do, people are like, oh my God, why can't, I used to like it when it was one day that you can put everything out and pick it up, like way back when.
And that's the thing.
And then, I'm just saying that if you look at that, why don't you standardize that? And so everyone should be able to leave whatever hazardous or whatever items, computer items or whatever, and let it, and then pay for that so that we all pay for that, as opposed to having just 1 or 2 times that you can
That
do
would
it
be
during the
something
year.
that would pay for it. We'd pay for that as well, though. Like that would also be worked into the fees. Those unlimited days are things communities pay for.
Well, I'm just saying that here we're doing it for the one time on the composting, but you're not looking at all the other items that may be more important to other residents here, other than the composting.
Well, I don't think we can choose to do everything at once. What LRS has offered is to expand the compost. You know, we were one of the first municipalities in the state to offer curbside composting, and we asked residents to pay extra for it, and they did. And I think,
all of
and
composting?
residents who wanted to compost paid a lot extra, and they did. And I think the goal is to change behaviors. So, you know, our kids learn to compost in the schools. They know how to do it. Some of the households who don't compost might choose to compost given the option where it only costs $1 or so more. And they might also find that they save money if they're not buying the lawn leaf bags and having to buy the stickers, instead using their compost bins for their yard waste.
When did we roll out composting? 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
No, a long time ago.
It's been more than 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, Katie kind of was
No,
on
we
that.
did it when you and I have been on the board.
No.
No, it was
Before then?
Katie
Okay,
was on the
so
commission.
in the course of 8 years, we've gotten 565 residents to take advantage of this.
No, well, that's the number this year. Is that right?
So the 553 is where we're at. 556 is the highest we've had.
Okay. So, so again, we've offered it and people haven't taken advantage of it. So now we're going to put it on everybody to, and I understand all the things you're saying, but again, I think, from an economic standpoint, if you're not using it, then, it's another $1. Yes, it is another $1, but do the math on $1 on all these things that we're doing and, it adds up. So, again, if our highlight, our high bar mark has been 556, what makes us think we're going to get to 50% of the community? So
I guess I would ask just because, again, I'll use me as an example. I don't compost, but I put out in the summer, right now, I'm putting out 2 bags a week. So to me, financially, at this price point, when it was $15, I was like, yeah, now of weeds and different items that go into a sea bag.
Yard waste.
Yard waste, thank you. So basically, if I add that up, it's at $6 a month. It's kind of a wash for me.
I'm confused because I didn't hear any conversation in here about lawn waste.
That's part of compost.
So compost carts, so the last bullet point there, compost carts may also be used for yard waste. which could help offset the resident costs associated with the waste
But
tax.
they put that in the recycling bin too? Or do they?
Not the recycling bin, they put it in the compost bin.
Only
And
compost.
pizza boxes.
Yeah, pizza
that you can't
boxes, 'cause you
recycle.
can't recycle those, yeah.
But keeping it to yard waste, yes, the yard waste thing, there is, at this price point, really, everybody should do the math, because it probably makes sense.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
So you might get bigger participation, because if it's currently costing $16.88, people are going to be like, well, that's a lot to pay every month. But if it's $1 more, they'd be like, oh, well, for $1 more, I'd like to compost.
It seems like they are betting that it would go up.
Mhm.
It's just they're not sure how much.
How many more?
I'm just trying to figure out the math here. So when you get, let's say we get everybody for $41, who are we charging? Every resident?
Every single resident.
But right now, I don't pay, I'm making this up, because
Yeah.
if I don't compost, I pay nothing right now.
If you don't compost, you would pay the $35.45, correct. You wouldn't pay anything additional into it.
It's our base garbage.
It's the base rate.
The 35.45. Right, so now we're composting, and you're saying, okay, if everyone composts, then it just goes up to $1, $2. That's
No,
gonna be-
so if everyone composts, then it would go to 41.10 if over 70% participation.
I understand.
I guess it's a matter of nomenclature. It's like offering it to everyone and then seeing how many actually accept it.
So the idea behind the tiers that were proposed, that was LRS basically coming back to us saying, well, the most you've had is 556. So we don't know where this is going to go. Like
Right.
they don't know where this is going to go. So that's why there's this tiered approach of, okay, here's your tier 1 price, your tier 2, your tier 3, tier 4, and every April it will be evaluated where we land.
Well, why don't they just accept that with the 4% increase? As part of the 4% increase, add composting to it.
We can go back
Yeah,
and
well, I
ask them
mean-
that. Yeah.
I mean, why not? It's, as Katie and we all know, I mean, that is what we should all be doing, for sure. So,
Well, do I understand
4% is
correctly
just
that
a-
the 4% increase is separate from the compost issue?
it is. It is. It's just a
Yeah.
increase of just inflation, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So it might be too much to ask them to offer village-wide compost and everything that takes LRS in terms of trucks, routes, staff power for free.
Well, they're moving those trucks down the street now, right? And for
You-
the
you would-
556 people.
But to your point, though, Kathy, that could be a point of negotiation.
I think
They might
so.
not accept it, but might as well, see if they could. And I do,
Just add it all in.
yeah. And/or with the composting, to your point, Rez, you make a good one. Is there a way to simplify electronics pickup to go to we'll do it twice a year, just put your stuff out?
Junk day. We used to have
A
junk
junk day.
Junk day.
Because I think
I
that's,
forgot what it was
It's
called,
called
right.
junk day.
well,
It's-
but I
you
would
just-
say electronics needs to be separate from
Yeah.
hazardous waste. Hazardous
you're right.
waste has
You're
to
right.
be handled properly, so that might
Right.
never change.
No, I meant the junk day. where they
But junk
bring the
day.
Computer
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
and electronics.
So the purpose for the hazardous waste and the electronic waste days are to try to keep those dangerous items out of the landfill. And you're talking about something different. Your junk day is like getting rid of your old couches, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Well,
So it's
no,
something
but-
different.
But electronic stuff, the wires,
Well, the goal
computers,
is to
stuff
keep the
like that.
electronics out of the landfill so that they don't
Okay.
spread
That's
the
okay, but I'm saying-
toxins.
But that's a separate, why don't they, you used to have a day that we can bring, or they would pick up that stuff, and it wasn't, you didn't have to fill it up. It was one day during the year that you would pick that up.
Electronics. You're
Electronic.
talking, he's
I'm
talking
about
just electronics.
Right,
But
electronics.
staff had discussed some different, whether there's a drop-off location or other things like that. We can work with
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
LRS on as well.
Yeah, maybe a drop-off location somewhere that
Yeah.
gets accumulated and they pick it up once a month or
Well,
something.
we had that, didn't we, Katie?
Do that, and all
Yeah.
those semi-trucks were lined up like all
Yeah,
day.
that's
Actually,
right. I remember.
Katie and Western,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were like that was so great.
Oh, the
Well, that was a
recycling
separate
extravaganza?
volunteer.
But
That was
still.
a separate volunteer-led. The recycling extravaganza was a separate volunteer-led initiative.
Yeah.
That was not LRS helped out for free. They participated, but they did
Well,
not
maybe that's why I
organize
think
that.
they were a part
That's
of it,
that's something completely different.
No, but there, yeah, agreed. I think we're talking about the same things,
Right.
but different things. So with Junk Day, you used to have where you could put all, you're right, so you gotta keep all that out of the, but if there's a way we can recreate kind of that extravaganza in a more, you know, it's not hard for the residents, then I think that's what you're saying.
And I'm just saying, if we're negotiating, why don't we negotiate LRS to do one extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. I forgot what the title was, but so that
Place that
we
you
bring
can
them,
bring it.
residents can just bring it
Why
that
not?
one day that's scheduled.
I agree. I think that's a big.
So would you?
Oh.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
So would it? I mean, I'm assuming that would add an additional cost as well because they would be coming once a year and doing this big extravaganza.
Additional costs.
Yes. So now
I'm
we
just
would
saying.
we would maybe have composting for people who want to opt into that program, and then Junk Day, and that would maybe satisfy more people. Is that the idea?
That's what I'm thinking, because
Just a way to spread it out.
Yeah,
more, to
spread
say
it
it's
out
all
because
included.
people, you're saying you're going to pay, even if you don't opt in, you're going to still pay for the
Yes, you'll pay between $1.15 and $5.65 a month. Everyone.
Well, depending,
whether you use
yes,
it or not.
of how many people.
Yes.
per-
The max is $5.65 a month.
Right.
That's the range.
Yeah. The range is $1.15 to $5.65. I pulled out Excel eventually.
I'm just saying, if it's that small, then we can negotiate it to the.
So, point
increase.
of clarification. The way that I'm hearing it then is going after trying to do a junk day or a day for all of the the electronics recycling and things like that, but included within this opt-in composting. Like keeping what we've sort of seen here, the numbers wise, with this junk day on top added.
Yeah, but we'd like to see it if it could be just included. you know,
Right.
as part of the.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. We'll sharpen the pencils a bit on the negotiation and see if we can revisit some of these tiers as well.
Right.
And then maybe come back to the board with representative from LRS and
Try it
Strom.
out. Okay, yeah, a little bit more work to do, yeah, but not hard, but good stuff. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And now up, if we can get Trish, she's gonna talk a little bit about our performance management system. This is important because this is gonna be electronically tracking performance goals, right? Of employees.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I have my wingman here, Dave. He's been using the system for a couple of years now, so will be able to speak to some of this stuff a little better than I might be able to. We're excited about using Track It Through out the village. As I said, the fire department has been using it for about 2 years. It was initially created for a fire department, and now the system is rolling it out to all other departments within a municipality. We're getting rid of our old paper processes, and we're centralizing it with the digital platform. It'll streamline the process for supervisors, and at the end of the year, there's really will be no surprises, or should be no surprises to an employee based on their performance. It aligns like everyone's goals, employees' goals, up through the village administrator, and whether an employee is working towards providing a safe community, protecting our property values, or stabilizing property taxes, their daily efforts are explicitly linked to these 3 guiding principles. The supervisors can log progress on a biweekly or monthly basis, depending on how the department manager deems an appropriate timeline for, depending on how many of the employees they have. As an admin, I'll be able to see when an employee has not received a log at all based on one of their, they call it tasks in this system. So based on one of their tasks, if they haven't received any on the 5 or 6 tasks that they have listed, I'll be able to see that. The system also is set up to notify the supervisor, hey, you haven't logged anything on this employee in 30 days. You have 15 days. After that 15 days or 45 days, then their manager will be notified as well that they're not doing what was requested of them. So that's a pretty nice option too. So we created a demo employee to look at today. So this is what the employee would see on their dashboard right here. They can look at their logs. We created some like fake logs for this employee. And you could see that he has these different tasks: administration, compliance, and performance, EMS service delivery, executive communication, leadership, and employee relations. So he has a couple logs on his a few of his tasks. You could see that one of them he got a 5.0. We have a 5 step scale, from 1 being the lowest to 5 being the highest. He also had a 4, and then he had a 1. The scores are over the whole year, so they're an aggregate score on each one of the tasks. So a 1, if he had like 10 logs on this professional readiness and development, where he's doing good most of the time or doing great most of the time, this one is just going to average out. So it doesn't take a huge negative effect on the employee if the supervisor is logging sufficiently for the person. There's also a admin way to view the screen, or the supervisor can look at this. So you can add a log, and it's as easy as just saying, I want to add a log. And I'm just going to pick one, and I can pick from the leading performance, which is the highest, to not meeting expectations with the lowest, which is the lowest. So you just pick one, and then you put in the comments of what they did. And then the system automatically scores them. So at the end of the year, they have a score. But all the employee sees is the color. They don't see their actual score. So they can't see that I got a 3.45, but so-and-so got a 3.47. Yeah. They only see that they're either the solid performer green, or a strong performance, the teal color, or leading performance, or not meeting expectations. So they only see the color. And each task can have a different color, but then it's the whole system aggregates the color to whatever their final score is throughout the performance review. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of.
What am I missing? So we can also, sorry.
Clear as mud.
Sorry. We can also add goals to people, which are different than tasks. So I added 3 goals for this person, and I just put the guiding principles in there for and we can add them as an organizational goal, or as a department goal, or as an individual goal. So Dave could say, Trish, I want you to get your certification in fire safety 2 by the end of the year. And if I do that, then he can go here and say achieved to that goal. Sorry. achieved, and it just shows achieved. That I reached my goal for that one guiding principle.
But Trish, so
Sure.
in that case, is there a place to kind of verbalize, what that meant?
Yes, so you would go back. So on the performance review at the end, the manager can put notes in on what the person accomplished throughout the year. Yes, it's at the end. So if you look at the performance review that we printed out on this demo employee, there were comments at the end. So leader comments, and then the employee commented on the end. And they can see when they get a log. The employee can see when they get a log, and they can go in and comment on the log, or they don't have to comment on the log, but they have to sign off on the performance review. What else do they have to sign off on? The sure, please.
So the employee, anytime they get a log, they can acknowledge it, they can respond to it, but at the very end, you'll sit down with the employee and you'll get a sheet printout like you see before you. And on that, it'll go month by month, basically, on each of the criteria that you set for the individual employee. So the one that the demo that you see before you is for a lieutenant, for a firefighter. They obviously would be doing something different for finance, whatever department that you wanted to do this for. You set those criteria. So when you set those criteria at the very end, if there was any deficiencies, you can have communication about that, how to proceed, how to get better, how to mentor that individual. But at the very end, they also have the right to put in any comments if they disagree, and you can have a conversation about that. But at the end of the day, at the end of this evaluation, they have to have some comment put in there. They have to acknowledge that they had this conversation with you, that they have received their evaluation, and they can put whatever comments they want at the at the end of that evaluation. But they have to have something, and then they will actually sign off on that, and that gets time-stamped and given to HR at the end of the day.
But they could also see any log. So if they get a bad log, let's say they did something and they didn't agree with it, they can go in and put a comment and then have a conversation about it. But the whole point of this is so that there's no surprises at the end of the year. Having that one-on-one, right away conversation when something good or bad happens with an employee. So to either mentor them or build them up or whatever the case is.
What's the difference between this and what we're doing now? Is it documentation
Oh,
and
no,
communication?
it's all paper.
Oh.
So everything is paper. So the different departments are handling it in a different way. Like the police department said, they have a spreadsheet and they put everything in a spreadsheet. And then at the end of the year, they have to fill out this huge performance review. So this is just taking that, that part of it away, putting it into the system, and then at the end of the year, they have their performance review pretty much already done for them.
Standardizing it.
And you remember it right away, as opposed to, oh, what happened with that guy 6 months ago, if you forgot to write it down. So, and I think having them track monthly or bi-weekly for each employee will be helpful as well.
Mm-hmm. And how are performance levels calibrated? It seems sort of subjective to do like the different colors for their overall scores. How are they calibrated so that employees are receiving the same feedback for the same kinds of performance?
So there's two different scores that are calibrated in this system. There's one called the score, which takes into account what they call what is it when it auto logs? It's an auto log. So let's say somebody is just doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing under every one of their tasks, and the manager never puts any comments in there. Their score is going to be auto logged to a 3. They're doing their job perfectly fine, nothing bad, nothing good. They're a 3. With every log, the simple score is just taking into consideration the actual logs that a manager puts in for them. So those are taken into consideration the really good ones, the not so good ones. So every employee should have logs, maybe not on every single task, but throughout their tasks that are provided to them. So every firefighter is going to have the same 6 tasks. Every lieutenant is going to have the same 6 tasks. It's not different for each employee. So every job title.
Do those tasks have standards to meet to get a score?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for the fire department, we have standard operating procedures. So we would grade that individual based on those operating procedures or directives for the department. So much like the employee handbook, if there was standards in there that the employee was bound to, that would be what the criteria for each of those would be standardized to. So basically, we'd create those points to be graded based on those standards set for that individual in that position, and then we grade based on that.
So the tasks are, every employee also has their job description in their, on their site, so they can see their job description. So most of the tasks come out of their job description. Some are just a little different based on how we want them to roll up to Matt.
So just so maybe kind of level set things, right now the fire department is using this automated performance for the last 2 years, David. And what we recommended is that we roll this out to the rest of the village hall employees because it seems like it's been working well for your department. And since it appears that everything else is manual, it'd be nice to kind of automate standardize things across the board. So it's a large task, but I think an important one.
Yep.
All right.
Is there any monitoring, like, for example, if there is a person who's in a, kind of a boss who's not putting in tasks?
Yes.
Is there like a red flag that basically their boss will say, hey, dude, you're not, or hey, person, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing?
So as an admin, I'll be able to see who put in a task.
Go to the org chart. If you go to the org chart here, you'll actually see the hierarchy.
Oh.
So theoretically,
So it's it's small.
Matt Walsh is at the top, and then anybody below him, Matt can see anybody below him on that, any tier below him, any person. And as you go down and click those individuals, it'll branch out. So if you click on me, on my button here, it'll show you all the people that I manage, my lieutenants. And on the lieutenants, it'll show you the shift personnel that they report to. So as you go down, the person at the highest can see everybody below them. You can't see anybody above you. You can see anybody below you. So any lieutenant can comment on any firefighter, just as like any police sergeant will be able to theoretically comment on any patrol officer. So it kind of works down by tiers, by rank. But Matt would have access to basically see anybody's performance evaluation. So at the end of the day, the person above whomever is supposed to be giving them comments is going to get a notification at some point that this person's not logging, this person's not receiving any notifications that they're getting logs, or you have a performance evaluation that's due, your annual review has been overdue for 2 weeks. And that way it's supposed to prompt that supervisor to complete that task.
I'll be able to see it as an admin, but the person above the supervisor can also see if logs have been created or not.
Is it saving time in the fire department?
Yes, so
What's the question? I'm sorry.
Saving time.
we always used to, typically where everything was done on paper, we'd have to keep a notebook. When I was lieutenant, you have to, again, try to remember all those calls, those things in the middle of the night, maybe those cards that somebody sent in. Now with this, if I get a thank you card from somebody who said, hey, your crew did a great job, I can scan it, I can actually upload it and attach it here so I can remember that 7 months from now. Instead of going back through 5 different individuals that I'm managing and trying to remember everything that happened with all those individuals, now it's almost like a diary is kind of the best way I describe it, a diary of what occurred throughout the year, where instead of having to remember all that, you get to put those in real time and timestamp those, so you're not trying to pull that back from your memory, but in fact you just have that in that moment where you're able to memorialize it basically and use that for a better, I think, a more real evaluation of that year, of that individual's time and how they spent it.
And as an admin, if somebody sends in something for Matt, I would be able to put something in for Matt, to say, oh, a resident called and was, happy with how he went over to their house or whatever the case may be. Like, I can add for anybody Matt can too, and so can Jessica. But then, so anybody, I could send it to me and I could add for any employee.
And it saves the feedback if there's transition in managerial ranks too. So like the record of the employee stays if a manager shifts.
Yes. And it saves in the system, so we don't have to print it out anymore. We just have it
Right.
in the system.
Yeah. So Trish, what is your timeline to roll this out?
We are 3/4 of the way done. We have probably July will be fully functional.
Okay.
Sometime in July.
So you almost have a year then, because starting
Right.
for our fiscal year. Okay. That's good. All right.
And the police have a January 1st kind of date, but what they're thinking of doing is just taking their notes from January to now and adding them in so that their performance eval in December will be like fully functional for them.
Great.
So
That's great. Any other comments? Good stuff. I think it's something we need, of course. It's good for the employee as well. They can track their own progress, which is nice. Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot. All right. I think that concludes our regular agenda. So we'll need a motion to go into executive session.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Move to enter the executive session pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C5 to discuss the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. The village board will adjourn after executive session and will not return to open session.
Second. Okay.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Kiscatello?
Yes.
Trustee O'Connell?
Yes.
Trustee Gillis?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
President Adduci?
Yes.